What's going on, everybody? It's your boys Wnba Dfs here to bring you that WNBA slate breakdown for the 3-game WNBA slate. Looks like today's slate's gonna be starting at 3 p.m. today. Funky time to have a slate start, but hey, we got 3 games. At least it's a decent size. We can say that for today's slate. So let's hopefully be able to break this down. Of course, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you guys enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel so you guys don't miss any more of the breakdowns and stuff I do. On top of doing the breakdowns, sometimes your boy decides he goes on little tangents where what happened to my team, bro? Like, I get we were bad last season, but what I'm seeing this season, and I was watching some little interviews and shit, and this, what they call Team Jesus,
just trying to figure it out, and it just seems like we can't get
it's something that he's gonna say.
No, I'm not gonna make excuses. I won't chalk it up to it hurts when you don't have a page and a tie hair.
No, I'm not gonna make excuses, but then you go straight into making an excuse. Yeah, like straight out, you said no, I'm not gonna make any excuses. Then you went into an excuse. No, I'm not gonna make excuses. I won't chalk it up. It hurts when you don't have a page and a Ty Harris. That is the excuse. You are the head coach. You have players who have made it into the WNBA. You have another guard, actually 2-3 guards on the bench that you actually could give some minutes to rotations. I mean, shoot, if the season's already halfway in the trash, why are we going to go ahead and do some more development in regards to having Quinterly, which finally, last game was DNP, but then you finally let Quinterly play in tonight's game where Quinterly goes out there and has 16 points. I mean, not 16, 16 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 14 points, 4 assists. You let Zaza actually play some minutes, 11 minutes in tonight's game. Wasn't bad. To me, wasn't bad. I watched the game and everything played pretty decent. Kalani, you let Charles actually blossom, who's been getting minutes over these. Like focus on the development. Actually let these players blossom. And of course, how the hell is it that we finally let G go ahead and get minutes and she leaves next week? That should have been happening early in the season, especially when you know that you're trying to go away from Big T. Like the excuses, and then I'm like, I know I was really high on the fact that we got Nalissa Smith and was like, yo, she a bounce back. I see so much potential in her. Maybe we could finally get out of her coming to Dallas. She's playing with her girl Dejanay. It's gonna be something different. It's gonna be great, amazing, blah blah blah. I'm about ready to chalk it up and like just admit that I was wrong completely about Nalissa. Like just completely admit it, man. Like her highs are high, but her lows are lower than fucking hell, bro. They are very low, and it's hard to erase that. Maddie not being put in the right positions and spots to be able to actually take off. But the most glaring issue, and you cannot tell me that you don't have a quote unquote point guard, because this team didn't have a point guard for a hot minute for the last 2 years. We didn't have a real point guard. Ever since Alicia Gray was gone, Skylar's been gone, we have not had a true actual point guard on this team. Yes, I understand we had Ty Harris for a bit and shit like that. Yes, we had Sim, she played for us and shit like that. But Enrique still actually did a lot of ball handling responsibilities. And in that time frame, I never saw Enrique look this disinterested to be out there on the court. I have never seen her look this horrible. Nor have I never seen her, except for when she was injured, had a fucked up shoulder, take this amount of shots. This is our star player, especially Paige is out. This is our star. Why the fuck is my star not taking at least 15, 18 shots? Why? Why? We look as bad as the Atlanta Dream when they had Tanisha Wright as her coach, with players just standing around looking confused. You got players over here, like, move. Some type of ball movement, some type of sets. You're getting what? Almost 8-10 seconds deep into the shot clock before any type of action is actually happening. If you want to play in transition, you want to play fast, okay, cool. Let's get that. But once we get there, we got to keep the motion going. We got to do something besides stand around and then someone take a wild flailing ass shot. That was my tangent for the day. I had to get it out. But as normal, we're tanking. We're tanking. I'm gonna accept it. We're getting Ozzy. We're getting bets. Something's good gonna come out of it. Enrique's leaving next season. It doesn't matter. It's the chapter of Paige. And what the fuck? I thought Paige was out for 2 games. Still got a damn concussion. Looking at the injury report for today, we got the Las Vegas Aces taking on the Golden State Valkyrie. No news to report for the Las Vegas Aces. Same old for them. Golden State Valkyrie, they're going to be without Tiffany Hayes, who was a late scratch last game that they played on the slate as well. Indiana Fever, they are still without Caitlin Clark. She's still fucking out, and then Cunningham, she's out as well. For the Chicago Sky, only Mariah Jefferson's on their injury report. Seattle, no news to report for them besides the fact that Lily is requesting a trade from them, which is crazy. But I understand that she's a talented big, and I know she wants to be a starter. She wants to actually play the minutes in the role. Now, if you want to come over here to us, we still wouldn't play. So don't. For the Phoenix Mercury, they are still without AT, which I'm starting to think this injury must be something serious for AT to still be out this amount of time. Like, that's crazy. The fact that she is still out. Real crazy. Head on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description box below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. And yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's get it. Starting out on the Las Vegas Aces side, we already know what it is. This team, they are so top heavy. They typically play. Everything goes through their starters. A'ja Wilson, I don't got to be a dead horse. 11-9. Biggs versus Golden State Valkyrie. We know we can't go ahead and tack it. She's going to be in a prime position spot to just go out there and just dominate. Honestly, yes, they have Fag Bentley, but I could see Fag getting herself into foul trouble. I could definitely see Kayla Thornton trying to do a little bit of something, but I imagine Thornton should be on Jackie Young, which is a pretty good defender, actually going up against another immovable object. I think that's how you say it and whatnot. But A'ja 11-9 definitely going to be a spot that like what we said before, she's on the slate. Player. Find a way to play A'ja. Like that's how it's gonna go. If you look at the last couple of power forwards that did go in this position and spot, Satu Sabali 37 fantasy points, Nafisha Collier 50 fantasy points, Brianna Stewart dropped 35, Derek Hamby dropped 42. So it's a good spot. A'ja usage is there. Everything should be there for her to actually go out and have a good game. Over there for if we're looking for other plays that you could possibly pivot to if you don't want to play A'ja. I do like the spot for both Jewel Lloyd and Chelsea Gray. I think I could be on either one of these guys. I could see it. Chelsea Gray has looked pretty good over her last 2 games, definitely looking a bit involved and stuff. I would love to see her get a little bit more shot attempts, but I know that that's really not how she rolls. Is she's finally getting those assists that we have been waiting for to see for her. Now if I can get an all-around game from Chelsea, like a good, give me 13 points, 5-6 assists, a steal or 2, I would definitely be happy to get that from Chelsea Gray. Only thing with Jewel Lloyd is that I do know that she is very much scoring dependent in order for her to have a big game. If you look at this game going up against Seattle last time out, 3 of 6. She only took 6 shots. I don't like that. I do not like that at all, whatever, looking at Jewel Lloyd. 6 shots is not enough, especially when you are predicated on shooting. Everything else that she did, this is what I call an outlier of a game. She had 7 rebounds. She had 4 assists. She had 4 steals. That is not a typical Jewel Lloyd game. I'm not going to bank my hat and expect for her to do that again. I will say if she decides that she can get hot and actually score in this game, this is going to be one of those good spots where she can do that. We have seen opposing guards going up against Golden State actually have decent games, especially the shooters that come out here with that mentality. Sabrina Ionescu, she dropped 41.5 fantasy points, and that was that game where she got crazy hot from 3 going up against the Golden State Valkyrie in their second game that they played versus them. Caitlin McBride, she recently came off of a 30 fantasy point outing versus them. So again, shooters that can shoot. Jewel Lloyd is a shooter. If she decides she wants to get hot, go out here and actually shoot the ball, which we do know Golden State, they will give up a ton of threes. This could be a good spot and a good day for her all around. Over on the flip side of things for the Golden State Valkyrie, with Hayes being out, they started Zanlassini last game. She got to start, so it should be Burton, Zanlassini, Salon, Kayla Thornton, Fag Bentley. That should be the starting 5 going out here for them. With Hayes being out, I don't mind, of course, going right back to Veronica Burton. She has shown kind of an all-around game right now so far in the season. Definitely think those assist numbers could be a little bit better for her. Don't mind going right back to the well in regards to possibly playing up for her at the guard spot if you think that she can have the better game between her, Jewel Lloyd, and Chelsea Gray, who are all priced right around the same price range right there. If not, I don't mind pivoting and coming down to Zanlassini, who's 5,800, getting the start, playing a shit ton of minutes. We know she's a pretty good scorer, and I think looking at it, she's not going to have the Jackie Young defense on her. So I definitely do feel like this could be a spot where we could see a much better game from Zanlassini versus who I typically like to play from the Golden State Valkyrie, which would normally been Salon. Salon's normally been like the one player that I really do like just because her usage is super high, especially with Hayes not being out there on the court. But this is going to be actually a decent matchup for her. where she should have Jackie on her, and I probably will definitely pivot off of going right there. So definitely not on Salon today, but I will say I do like Kayla Thornton and Fag Bentley as well, as both possible plays. Fag Bentley, she's definitely, of course, we know it's a mixed pot in regards to what we can actually get for her, but opposing forwards, opposing centers to be exact, they actually have had decent games when you look at it. Azrae Stevens, 27 fantasy points. As Maggie McGore just went up against them twice, 23 and 26 fantasy points. Big Mama Dolson went out there and dropped 31 fantasy points. Tina Charles, 25 fantasy points. So it's a possibility. It's a possibility for her to be able to go out here and have a decent day versus them. She just has to keep herself out of foul trouble trying to deal with the Asia Wilson out there. Really don't expect Kia Stokes to do too much. And then Kayla Thortgod, of course, I believe she's going to actually have her hands full trying to deal with Asia, but we have seen opposing fours, which they can go out there and play versus the MVP in Asia Wilson. Hamby, she dropped 39, NECA 44, Kiki, rookie Kiki dropped 37 in the spot. So the upside is definitely there. It just matters of, and when I've said it before, Kayla Thornton just has to be able to knock down the shots and hit shots. And one of those games is going to eventually happen where she's going to go scorch earth from three, which she's been shooting pretty well from three, honestly, when you look at it. Everything else just has to follow. The defensive upside, the rebounding, all those things just got to be there. This could be that spot for her to actually do that. I'm definitely going to be looking in her direction as possible play, a potential spot for me to go to. But again, like I said, Zan Lassini, for the fact that she is going to be starting and playing more than likely at that 2 spot over the 4 of them, could be the value that you come down to over here at the 4 position instead of worrying about Faggy Bentley, instead of worrying about Kayla Thornton as possible and potential plays over there. Going on over to Indy, taking on Chicago Sky. I would say that the Chicago Sky are the 2nd worst defense in the league, if I'm not mistaken, because I know that we are right back again to being the worst defense in the fucking WNBA. This is an interesting spot looking over here at the Indiana Fever because, of course, if you guys didn't pay attention to note, Caitlin Clark, she is still out, but they do have Ari McDonald now over on this team. And first game, Ari played 27 minutes, 207 from the field, but of course she's out there to facilitate and play her defense, which is 2 good things. And this is a great spot versus the Chicago fucking Sky for us to get Ari McDonald at 4,200. And I would not be surprised with the time that they've had off. They played on the 3rd, so that was what? Literally 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 4 days ago. 4 days ago. I'm pretty sure she's going to start today. She should be straight up starting, and at 4,200, even if she doesn't start, those minutes just signify how much of a role she's going to have. Sydney Colson should be going back to the bench. There goes a second play that will be a core play for me on today's slate. Like, that's just... Wow, the DraftKings gave us a gift right there with that for the Ari McDonald. Anyway, looking at the rest of it, Chicago Sky going up against them, this should be a really great spot for a lot of the players over here. Aaliyah Boston, we've seen what she did in the first game in like 20-something minutes versus them. 27 minutes, 47.25 fantasy points. Another good spot, even with Cardoso being out there. Boston, she still is able to find a way. Opposing centers that actually have some decent feet that can move and know what they're doing. They can go out there and have big games. The only thing is that we got to worry about, will Boston be able to actually go out there and take more than 5 shots? Because that's the only thing that's been killing me with Boston over these last couple games is the fact that she's not really shooting. Of course, the defense is more focused on her than everything else. You don't have CC out there to facilitate, but now you actually do have a point guard in Ari McDonald, who will be a decent point guard for her. 9,800, the price is coming down for me in that 10K range. I definitely don't mind her as a bounce back spot because we have attacked Chicago with opposing forwards and centers. So Boston, really great spot to go ahead and attack and go to her. All right, here, Kelsey Mitchell, 9,200. I am not paying that for Kelsey fucking Mitchell. I will not, shall not, cannot, and no. Hell no. To the no. If you want to, go ahead. Good GPP pivot off of some other guards and stuff like that. If you want to mess with that, you know, you're not going to play Chelsea Gray. You're not going to play Veronica Burton or something. You're not going to play Skylar Diggins-Smith. Go ahead. That's a really great GPP pivot right there for that. Natasha Howard, 8,400. I can't say that I can necessarily get right here. Going up against Chicago the first time, she did drop 30.25 fantasy points. But those minutes, they're definitely on a seesaw. They're tottering. And because I'm not really too high on Natasha Howard, I am high on Lexi Hull, who they trust. They love what Lexi's giving to them. And I like what I'm seeing from Lexi. Lexi is stuffing the stat sheet in all categories. She's kind of like Ryan Howard, may start slow in the first half, but second half, as long as she's still out there, she's going to get you a respectable fantasy point outing, which is what she did in this game. She didn't have really, I think she had 2 points in the first half, came out in the second half, ended up with her 14, but also was just giving it everything out there. That's why she played 36 minutes, sat for 4 minutes at that game. Like, that tells you how much drive that girl has being out there. And especially with no Sophie Cunningham, that's more minutes for Lexi Hull to be able to go out here and play in that rotation. DeWanna Bonner probably needs to come back down some more. I know she can definitely get hot when she's out there on the court versus the Chicago Sky in the first game. 26 minutes, she had 17.75 fantasy points. The only thing with DB that you have to pay attention to and just note in your head with her is that she's playing off the bench and they have her capped around 23 minutes. Like, that's it. She has to explode in that time for when she's out there. I'm not going to take that chance. Instead, I will go to who seems to be getting more minutes, who they like what she's doing out there. Dantas at 4,300 definitely makes for a really good value piece and value option for us on today's slate. Love the upside, love the possibility of what Dantas can bring to the table, and definitely be someone that I would keep my eye on. If you foul down into that 4,500, 40 something price range at the Uto, Dantas would be a safe option and a safe play that you can go ahead and get to and play. If you don't already have Ari McDonald locked into your line, it just makes sense. It would be someplace in the direction I would go. On the flip side of things, looking over here for the Chicago Sky, Andrew Reese, Courtney Vandersloot, Atkins, Cardoso. We know that's going to be the starting line. We know that's going to be the main bodies over here for us. Over the last couple games, I am loving the fact that I'm actually seeing Ariel Atkins getting more involved, aggressive, looking for her shots. That's what I expected to see from her when she got over here to the Chicago Sky. She should be up there leading in regards to how many shots she's taking. She should definitely be bombing away from three over Kia Nurse over here on this team. Like, this is what she was brought over here to do. Like it. Upside. Great. There. 8,700. I don't mind going ahead and paying that. I will say the matchup on paper does not look the greatest, as the opposing twos that have gone up against the Indiana Fever, not the greatest log to look at. The only one that has had a decent game versus them was Sabrina Ionescu, who went out here and dropped 36 fantasy points versus them. Ariel Atkins, what she can do on the defensive side, I know that can make up for anything else if she's struggling in regards to scoring. But the good thing is that the Indiana Fever, they do give up a ton of points to opposing guards. Now, is that going to be Ariel Atkins, or is it going to be, for whatever reason, the 8,900 Courtney Vandersloot, who she's drinking from the fountain of youth again, y'all. We know how this goes with Sloot. Sloot's going to have a string of really great games, and then eventually she's going to fall off. I'm not too sure if that's going to be today, if that's going to be tomorrow, but I will say opposing ones, put your ones up. Opposing ones going up against the Indiana Fever, they actually have had pretty great games. Brittany Sykes just dropped 33.5 fantasy points. 33.5 fantasy points in the first game. Well, second game. First game, she dropped 39.25. Natasha Cloud dropped 47.25. And now think about it. Kind of the same role that Sloot plays is what Cloud plays for the New York Liberty, in regards to she's out there to play, do what she can on defense, play, make, and also she is going to take a couple of shots. That's the same role, same area. So I kind of do like seeing something like that for him. And then Alicia Gray, when she went up, going up against them, she dropped 32.5 fantasy points. So definitely really do like the upside for Courtney Vandersloot. But I will say I would come down for the 200 less and go to Ariel Atkins over Sloot, just in case it's going to be the fall off game, and I don't want to be on the wrong side of that right there for him. Outside of that, Camila Cardoso, she's here, 7,700. The minutes, everything, it's been up and down. She just has to keep herself out of foul trouble. We know she can pop and have a big day. Versus the Fever the last time, she played 21 minutes, dropped 21.75 fantasy points, and only had she had 4 personal fouls in that one. If we can get double Cardosa out here, good feet Cardosa. Let me block your shot, Cardosa. She's been off for a hot minute, Cardosa. I wouldn't mind it at all, but I will say power force versus the Indiana Fever have cooked, and we just got to see Angel Reese come out here and just dominate. That's all I got to see. I understand it. Half of her shots are putbacks and stuff off of her own misses. She is a double queen for a reason, but for whatever reason, she ain't doing too hot in the double department. Her last 2 games, she's hooked, which kind of really fucked up, because I got a double season long for Angel Reese. So I need you to get with the program, Angel. The hell you doing? But Angel Reese, I do like the spot for her. I do definitely think she can go out here and have a decent day. 10.5, that's a bit pricey for her, but we do have some decent value on slate. Last couple power fours, Kiki dropped 29. versus them in both games. Brianna Stewart 31, Bree Jones 37, 43, and then of course we know Angel Reese, she went out there, she dropped 34.25 fantasy points in that first game versus them. So upside is definitely there. We do have the value that we could possibly get to, and wouldn't oppose it as a play for me to get to on this day slate. Seattle versus Phoenix. Now I'm a because I said it. Ezzy Madbagor, when she has that big block game, she's going to be able to actually do a little something and just do it all for us. She went out there last game versus my Dallas Wings, 5 blocks. 5 blocks versus them, 32.25 fantasy points. Hopefully that is the domino that needed to fall for Gabby to go. I mean, for Ezzy to go out here and have a big day and continue that dominance, because we know she has the upside. And I think this is a really great spot once again for her to be able to go and have another good day. Last 2 centers that have going up against the Phoenix Mercury, and this is going to be rebound upside for her here in this position spot as well. She just has to go out here and just do it for me, man. Tabitha Fitz-Bentley dropped 35 fantasy points. Alana Smith dropped 32 fantasy points. So Cardoza, she dropped 34 fantasy points. This is one of those spots where if she can get a couple more blocks, rebound the ball, and just scratch her way to a fucking double-double, Madbagor can have a big day. Now, if Ezzy doesn't have the big day, we already know that NECA, she probably is the reason why she didn't have that big day. We know NECA, she can go out there, she can rebound very well for him. She can play some of the backup center role, unless they decide they want to give Lily some minutes as the backup center for once and let her play instead of letting Malonga go out there and play. But NECA, honestly, who's going to match up versus her over here on Phoenix? Because Satu can't stop that at all. Westbeld ain't stopping that. La Costa, Latista, Batista, she ain't nobody's stopping this over here for him. And I mean, shooting the first game 35 minutes, she dropped 24 fantasy points on the head top, and that was with AT for him. So, but NECA definitely could get there at that 10-3. I will say though, I think that this is going to be one of those games where Ezzy can go out here and give us a decent day. 32 minutes versus them last time. She dropped 20.75 fantasy points, and she had 1 steal, 1 block in that game. Hopefully the upside could be there even better for her. I definitely do think this is one of those spots. Now, outside of that, Skylar Diggins-Smith, 9,500. We know Skylar, she's been on a little bit of a rush tread, but versus one of her former teams, she played 37 minutes, dropped 58 fantasy points. That was when Skylar was just dishing that rock, slanging that thing left and right, and just doing everything in the sun. And that was after I want to say she actually came off of a bad game too, the game prior to that. Versus Dallas. Nope, that was not. That was just the good string of good games. Now, if you don't want to get up here to Skylar, then definitely, of course, Gabby Williams. She makes sense. She's been just, to me, definitely can possibly win most improved player if everyone forgot how good Gabby was before she left last season and stuff and whatnot. Like, Gabby is playing amazing, definitely out there. The defense is great for her always. She can play, make this rock a little bit. She will rebound the ball, but also her scoring upside, the scoring chops that she's showing us, loving it. And I love what I'm seeing from her. 9,400 is a bit steep of a price to want to pay for Gabby, though. It is very steep. It is so steep, it's steeper than steep. But there's value on the slate, so we can possibly get to it. Again, I will rather just play Ezzy when it comes down to it instead of having to pay up for Gabby, because that, of course, just makes sense to me. And then if you want to flip a coin, roll a dice, and take a chance and trust Erica Wheeler, who is seeing 20+ minutes out there, looks like she is really the one that's eating into Alicia Clark's minutes in regards to her role and everything over here. And then, of course, if Skylar's struggling or Skylar's having any issues, they are not afraid to let Easy go out here and run the charge. She's definitely dishing the rock very well with this team, showing some very good cohesiveness for him, but also the scoring that she's bringing on the other side of the table. That 7,500, she could be quote unquote our Gabby Williams that we're looking to get to, because I don't feel like she's going to go out there and necessarily get us to 0. Definitely feel like she can get us the 15+ fantasy point outing when we look at it over there for the team. To me, this is going to be a tough spot for Satu. On the flip side of things, 11-7. I mean, of course, we know she's priced up like that because she has all the usage and everything for this team. There is still no AT. But I'm not too sure if I'm going to get all the way up there to her. First time versus Seattle, 32 minutes. She only had 30.75 fantasy points versus them, and all the focus is going to be on her. I don't feel like necessarily I'm going to be getting up and getting there to Satu here in this spot. Outside of Satu, Sammy Whitcomb, she just has to catch fire from 3 and just actually give us some decent scoring. We know that she's going to be out there technically leading the charge for the guards. Westbeld, she's shown some pretty good chops, bouncing back from that shitty game versus Minnesota versus Golden State. 30 minutes, she had 26.75, 25 fantasy points. Not bad at 7,400, but I will say I would rather come down here to Heald, who looks looks like she is technically eating into the minutes of Monique now. She's out there leading the charge for the guards, back-to-back really good scoring games. I don't mind possible getting up there to her. Monique, like I said, those minutes are the little minutes that she had are slowly ticking down, which I'm not understanding why. Like, to me, she was playing pretty decently, being your point guard, so to say. But now you got Sammy technically leading the charge as your one guard instead of Monique now. So it's just so wishy-washy. Latista, she's out there. She's playing some minutes and whatnot, but not taking enough shot attempts for me and not really doing enough in regards to the other aspects of the area. Unless she was to get hot shooting wise, I don't see it necessarily being a play that I want to get to right out the gate. And then, of course, Kalani Brown, we know that they will use her size. She will be out there. Definitely a possible play first time versus Seattle. She played 11 minutes only in that game, 4.5 fantasy points. There's really not too much for me to like over here on the Phoenix Mercury side, and be honest. Hopefully I'll have a little bit better detail or something like that in the player pool when I post that up. But yeah, no, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys were able to get something from me in this video. Gave you guys 2 plays that I'm gonna be on for today's slate. Ari McDonald, of course, and Asia Wilson. If you guys enjoyed the video and the content, you enjoy your boy ranting, drop a like on the video. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys enjoyed from it. Who's gonna be your star play for today? Because I already got mine locked in. Good luck to everybody. Peace.